Go. I am self-employed. I have various strands. I work in schools doing 3D, and 3D in my sort of 3 or 4 areas that I sort of have invented to ways to make. And I manufacture, so I manufacture some of my designs, and I spend a little bit of a proportion of my time desperately trying to find something else that's interesting to sell. So what I've been working on for years, because like when you invent stuff, for me, sometimes it's really tricky to get something good. So as an idea, I've been working on wire sculptures for a long time. So one of the issues with wire sculptures, if you make a wire sculpture, the wire is quite slippy, and if you cable tie it, say, it will just slip to bits. So I invented a zigging machine, so that was really great, and I've been doing zigging workshops for a long time. The next issue is if you make a lovely wire sculpture out of wire and you put it in the outside, you can't see it, because just wire itself is just not, it doesn't do what the eye needs to trick it into seeing something. So for years now I've been working on how could I get a surface that kids can attach that works visually. So for a long time I used chloroform plastic, coloured chloroform plastic, which I used to have big wadges. I used to cut with a bandsaw into strips, and then that was really easy to cable tie on, so you could sort of make a lattice over your sculpture, and that worked for a long time. But one of the things about that is the chloroform looks rubbish. It bleaches after even a year sometimes, and it just looks a bit shoddy. It's not very professional. And the other big issue is with cable ties. Cable ties themselves, they'll only last about 7 years, because after 7 years in the sun, the UV light just breaks the plastic down and they fall off. So it's not very posh for a long time. So one of the things I've been working on is that, and I got recycled aluminium plates from the litho printer, and I made a slicer, and I used to use that. But one of the issues is with that works extremely well, but one of the issues is the edges are so sharp, it was a nightmare. So I developed this other system, which is white strapping tape from a packing suppliers, and I put aluminium tape each side. I made a machine to do that, and that works really well. But now my quest is to actually, so I invented a wire tie, a brand new wire tie that works well with zig, so that so it replaces the cable ties. And then this strapping silver tape, which works so well with the kids, I wanted to actually take it to another level. So I spent ages making machines to make a new type of strapping, which was a zig strapping, and that was lovely to do and really difficult and all that. But then when you actually make a sculpture out of it, I don't think it does what I was after, which was to trick the eye into thinking it's a sculpture. So now I've made a whole series of more machines, which actually goes back to the original stripped aluminium sheet, and it bends the edges round to make them safe. And that's where I am now. I've just finished this week this edge bending machine, and so the next thing to do is to make a sculpture and just see if it works. when you solve problems, there are always other issues, no matter what you do. There's no panacea. So the latest tape machine that I've got, I absolutely love, and it works really well. It's a joy to use. And I absolutely love developing the ideas. The only issue is once you've solved things, then I get bored again, and I'm then looking for the next idea, the next angle to approach these things. I work with lots and lots of kids throughout the year in schools, and one of the biggest problems I find is that kids aren't in a position where they're very used to making decisions, their own decisions, and coming up with their own ideas, and being really resilient against the odds. So for some strange reason, I absolutely love having a problem that I can't solve, which makes me cry, but I keep pushing and pushing and pushing until I can solve it and developing the skills necessary. And what you find is a lot of kids, it's like they haven't played enough. So especially the modern child it's like they don't know that they've got hands, so they don't even know how to use their hands, which is a bit of an exaggeration. But one of the things is when you've worked with kids for a day and they're doing sculpting, suddenly it all comes out because you only have to do it. It's somehow innate in people. So in terms of why is art interesting, I mean, to something, what I really do is teach thinking skills. So I'm saying to them, what are you going to make? This is some skill, this is some techniques, how are you going to get it together? And so in some ways what I do is extremely simple, but it seems to me a core skill to be able to just go and to learn and to get skills and to have ideas. What has been interesting in my life is when you suddenly think, well, actually, I'm not that stupid. I have a very good ability at creating ideas and pulling things out of nothing. But though it takes a long time to get over the start, being, when one thinks one's stupid for quite many years, it's quite difficult to undo that. So where I am now is I invented the paper rolling machine and started working in schools. And then I've just added all these other things. And I'm not very good at a lot of things, but I'm working with kids I think I'm quite good at, I think I have a talent for, and I quite like inventing things to use in my workshops. And what I particularly like that, it seems to be quite meaningful. I really believe in it for some strange reason. Whereas, I don't know, when you hear about people making vast amounts of money, I'm not sure. And also designing some of I do a lot of furniture design, but actually it's not that interesting selling furniture to very rich people. It doesn't seem to have that edge it does when I'm trying to solve problems about kids learning to think three-dimensionally. I think my work will evolve because I think I will get far less work in schools because I just think the cash pot will go. So I started making furniture again after many years because I trained as a furniture maker. I had some young people from the college where I trained, but 20 or 25 years later, and they were making furniture, and I suddenly thought, well, I can do that. So I started making some furniture again, which is quite interesting. And I need to develop some more products using my skills as a machine inventing maker. But I don't know. In some ways, it will just emerge.
Have you got any jokes?
I can never remember the jokes. I'm not renowned for my my joking ability. There was a joke that I heard the other day, and it was about Ian Paisley, and he was preaching, and he said in his sermon, "There will be fire and brimstone and much gnashing of teeth." And some wit in the audience said, "What happens if you don't have teeth?" And Paisley went, "Teeth will be provided."
You're the most
Hilarious.
boring person in the world.